Hello, my name is Arianna Harris, producer and host of Aim for the Stars, where you'll meet the stars of today and tomorrow. I'm an actress model from the East Coast of the United States, and this show is brought to you by Jess TV and Jess FM Radio from Lethbridge, Alberta. I am pleased to introduce my next guest, John David. John is an actor, executive producer, voiceover artist, and stuntman. Hello, John. I'm happy that you could join me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. Such a pleasure. Thank you for reaching out. I'm very happy. So thank you.
Oh, of course. So, could you tell the audience about your journey to becoming an executive producer of movies?
Well, that was not my end zone goal. It was acting.
Okay.
It was acting first, and then the executive producer just kind of came as an opportunity with some projects that landed in my lap once you kind of get going and meet people in the industry. Um, so a couple of projects landed in my lap, and I'm like, okay, trust me, I'm still learning. I think this is an industry where who attending seminars, you have to, there's no academy to go to. You better try to network the right people and be mentored by the right people because
Right.
this is a vicious industry at times, or it can be cutthroat. So you want to surround yourself with positive, good people with great intentions. And so executive producing kind of fell into my lap, and I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I like being on both sides of the camera. I like being on both sides. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, could you tell me like what the difference is between being in front of the camera and kind of behind the camera and if it helps you?
It does help you when you know the full picture as a producer, executive producer, from beginning to end, and the storyline and the lighting and the sound and the um, composers. Like, when do you, like, I just was at a seminar this morning, and it was with a very popular casting director and two composers and actually two directors, two composers, this seminar I went to this morning. And I learned so much just listening in for that 30, 45 minute um, seminar they gave today. And being on one side of an actor, you don't, okay, you want to get your check. You hope to do well. You hope to get some great credits for it, and you move on to your next project, right? And you usually move on. And as a executive producer, now it's about the payout. It's about keeping this residual plan going into the distribution of films. Apps have to have new material to maintain their subscribers. So, or do you go to the airlines? Just remember, the airlines is another revenue stream when you're up in the air and you're picking those movies. That's a different revenue stream from a different type of platform. Or then do you make your way into a third world country? There's countries still watching Gilligan's Island and I Dream of Jeannie, and you want to follow the Dick Wolf productions of Chicago Med and Chicago PD. They're on, like, I don't even know how many seasons they are anymore, but they're up there in the plus nine. And that those shows are going to live on forever. At different levels and different demographics globally. So your executive production side is a key of knowing the business side of this. The acting side, great. I hope they've delivered my character and my storyline to, let's say, I want to say the word fans, but I don't know, but in general, my viewers, right? Let's call them viewers. So they come back and see you again, and they see you again, and they see you again. And it's no different than the A-listers that are out there as actors. And if you start to notice, a lot of the A-listers are the executive producers. You know, look at Landman, Billy Bob Thornton. He's on both sides of the fence. A lot of these guys, the Tom Cruise, both sides of the fence. You know, um, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. These are individuals that are on both sides, and they get it. And so I'm just kind of, I wish I started this 30 years ago. I'd be way more seasoned than I am now. And it is a learning process, and it's everyday learning, every month learning. And I hope I answered your question well, because I can keep going with this. But Yeah, it's a big difference, as I explained.
Wow, yeah. I mean, some of these people watching, they don't know that. You just let them in a whole new world, and that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And while we talk about films, I'm curious if you have a favorite film genre since you're so familiar with it all and why, if you do.
Well, I can tell you my favorite TV shows. I almost anything Taylor Sheridan. I'm in love with Taylor Sheridan. I would do his stuff for free. So Taylor Sheridan, if somehow you get a hold of this clip, please call me. I don't care if you have to run me over with a horse, buddy. I want to be on any of your shows because um, I am an equestrian stuntman. I didn't realize it. It kind of fell into as a child growing up and being a daredevil on a horse all my life. I think I was 3 years old when my father sat me on a saddle and held me just like the little circus when you hold a little kid, whose little head is all wobbly because he can't even hold it up. Um, and I grew into the passion of horseback riding, and then of course falling and jumping and rolling and making the relationship with the horse, like say the horse whisper, to listen to you and to not kill you or not hurt you, right? And so my genres really are Landman, is my number one show. I like Lioness, another Taylor Sheridan show. I'm in love with that show. I liked Mad Men. That was like John Hamm. I love John Hamm. I've tried to copy his. He's always doing that, so I'm always like copying my John. I call it my John Hammond expression. But genres, I like the good guy. I like the good guy. I like to be the good guy. I want to be the cop, the detective, the hero. I want to be the heartthrob. I want to be, the one that at the end of the day, gets the killer, wins the girl, wins the race, climbs the highest mountain and sticks his flag on the top. So anything in a positive way to promote me and give a good example to I have two sons. So anything to give a good example to my sons, never give up, keep trying for your goals. And I want to be seen in that type of light as while I'm here and after I'm not here. So, you know, yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like for me, it's the complete opposite. I feel like I never play good guy, good girl roles.
Oh,
But it sounds like you're kind of a cowboy. And I know that you're a brand ambassador for Wrangler jeans and Stetson hats. I'm wondering if you could talk more about that, maybe how you got into that, or, just share it with the audience.
well, that was a little that long. That's not that was a long time ago, earlier in my career, where I was asked to model, and modeling was something I did, and I think almost every actor somehow starts out some way, and your path widens. Look at me. Went from I used to do tuxedo runways in my early 20s. And that then led into modeling and then modeling campaigns. And then I found someone and said, hey, because I'm from a small town in Indiana called Portage, Indiana. And then I grew up and went to South Bend, Indiana, where I ended up going to high school and then went to college in Indiana and moved to Chicago. Oh my God, I don't want to date myself, but like 1999, 2000, I moved to Chicago. Is that when I moved to Chicago? Yeah, I think so. No, actually, I'm sorry, I'm gonna date myself. 1991. So you were not even born yet. So with that being said, yeah, I brand ambassador and as a model, as an actor, you have to diversify yourself in your portfolio and anything that can be positive. Like I said, I'm a cowboy stuck in the city. I love Chicago, great city, but I love horses. I love to be around them. I miss the smell of a barn. There's something about the dust and everything that kicks around of a horse that just there's just you miss it, right? And
Hmm.
kind of like being outside in nature, right? Your nature. It sounds like when you went fishing today. So same thing,
Yeah.
you miss that. There's something about it that brings out your soul, your inner soul, and who you are. So brand ambassador with Stetson was great. I wish they'd call me back. I'm ready, and Wrangler jeans and Wrangler. I'm sorry. streetwear, jean jackets, you name it, cowboy boots. I would love to do something with Durango cowboy boots or somebody. But I also brand ambassador of my own product. So I own my own skincare line. And what I've done with my skincare line, am I allowed to plug it?
Of course, I was going to ask you about it in a second, so go ahead.
Well, it's Nova Health, Nova Health, shopnovahealth.com. And I have my own copper peptide. That's a nice serum to soften, tighten, and make the skin glow. Being in the industry of acting, we all have to take care of our skin. We have a brutal schedule. Um, Diets can be brutal, as you know. You can be at that craft table all day eating the wrong stuff because it usually has a lot of snacks, And out of boredom, you're eating another bag of chips, right? So, so brand ambassador, like what I did with my skincare line, and I sponsor events. I like to sponsor fashion shows. I've met some amazing, talented um, models that are now their own brand. And in fact, we have a show coming up called Strike. Um, and Arianna is the main model or the main coordinator, and this is her show, and this is her first brand, and doing an amazing job. And then I work with another gentleman from Next Gems, and he has a jewelry. And what do we always wear on set? Jewelry, right? We wear things that our wardrobe picks out. And so if I have an opportunity to wear something from Next Gems, I'm going to wear it, which is not on me today, but I had something on yesterday. But so brand ambassador is huge because we all are about social media. And I'll take a movie, I'll take a slide, I'll take a piece of jewelry, I'll take a fashion show, I'll take a garment of some sort, and I'll endorse it, I'll wear it, and see where it gets me. Did that get me 5,000 more followers? Did that get me 5 stars rating and a lot of shares? Views. I'm excited about views. Views really makes me happy. I think I posted a dinner with my son the other day, and I just showed him. I said, 1,200 people just saw this from yesterday. And so I like that stuff, right? Some people are like, hey, buddy, you're always in the public figure, but this is a public figure type of role, even with yourself as an actress, as an actor, you're a public figure. And so be
Yeah.
proud. And it's so brand ambassadoring with those two brands. And I look for a lot more. I'd love to stay in that Western theme because it's my passion. And I know I do like formal wear as well because I like formal wear. But so I'm always up for new opportunities.
So I do have another question about the skincare line. Are you the founder?
I am.
Awesome.
Founded
Could you give background on that? How did you start the brand? What do you love about it?
Well, how did I start it? It was the brainchild of my son Cameron. And he and I set out because I love entrepreneurial people. I am entrepreneurial. I've had businesses that I've started and sold. Um, I've got more success than failures because that's the part of being an entrepreneur. You will learn from your mistakes, and it's like you're teaching yourself your own university course, right? And my son and I started it, and then he kind of wanted to go in a different direction with peptides in a injectable form, which is the new thing. And I'm actually worked with a really good friend of mine from Neogen in Chicago. I am the I am the protege of his injectables. I lost, I don't know, close to 40 pounds, because I was heavier, and I started to do the research. And Neil Jen is a good friend of mine, Adele and Mary. And I stuck to the program, and it works. And it gave me where I want to say camera ready. So I'm camera ready for the project. If it started tomorrow, I'm ready. I can pray if it starts. I wish it started tomorrow. But yeah. So to answer your thing, how did I follow it? My son started the idea, and I ran with it. And then he went one direction, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna not just stop at copper peptide serum because even though I love it, I started and I got a for women because I'm always on set, right? So I have a lip plumper, for men, a lip plumper. So you want to get your lips juicy before a set or for a photo shoot, put on a little lip plumper. In about 10 minutes, that it's going to kick in, and you're going to have some, a little puffier lip. And then I did an eye cream because we got to take care of this, crow's feet and everything when we're under lights. And I've got two types of eye creams, and then I also have a for hair, with rosemary, so I can maintain my hair because that's kind of our trademark. Depends on who you are and what your trademark is. So I fell into it, and then I enjoyed it because I met some amazing people along that journey, and then I started sponsoring events, and soon I'll be hosting on the MC on some of my events because I feel like I have the charisma enough to do so.
I love it. Your piece is your moneymaker. We got to take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a financial investment to get this manufactured and to discover it and to research all of the products. And I have six. I have a total of six products right now, and I'm gonna stick there for a little bit, but I've got four more in the works, but I'm not ready to pull that trigger yet. But I've got them already researched, and the box is designed, and the packaging will have all my labels and natural and organic and no GMO, and all the good labels you want to see on packaging. And then of course I'm founder. It says the next gen of luxury skincare, and that's the position I'm putting myself in, as a luxury skincare for myself and for my peers and for my customers.
Well, I love it, and I'm excited to hear what comes next. But we are in the middle of our show, so let's reintroduce ourselves. If you're just tuning in, my name is Arianna. I'm the host and producer of Aim for the Stars, and we're coming to you live from Jess TV. My guest is John David, and now we can get back to the questions. I was wondering, what is your most memorable moment from set?
Ooh.
I know there's a lot.
What is my most memorable moment from set? I think sometimes walking on sets that you saw before you were on the set. Let's say walking the hospital of Chicago Med, and you're in the studio, or walking around the mansion of the house in the TV show Empire. And I'm like, I'm in their kitchen. I'm in their kitchen. Oh my God, take a selfie of me. Hurry before somebody catches us. Take a selfie of us. So, memorable is when you're on a set. There was a show. It didn't make it very long. I was on station. It was called Station 11. It it just was bad timing. It was about a virus, and it just happened to be right around COVID. So didn't do well. But being on this space shuttle set, that was kind of cool. Memorable moments. I don't have any bad moments. If anything, a bad moment was more of a lesson. Does that make sense? It's more of a
Yeah.
lesson of what not to do, what not to say, what speak when spoken to. Stay quiet. Listen. It's when you're quiet and listen is when you learn, and when you're distracted, you don't learn. So that'd be my number one thing to give advice to anybody watching that wants to be an inspiring actor as well. Just keep your eyes open, listen, and listen to the veterans. They've been there. They experienced it. I met a lot of. I started out as background. I was a background actor, and then I went to core acting, and that's mean that the group that's on TV the most, because they want to stay consistent. Let's say with the board of directors, I was a board director, always on a show called Empire, season 4, 5, and 6, and I was always next to Terrence Howard or Taraji or one of the main characters, and you spend a lot of time with those people. You spend 8 to 12 hours. And maybe up to. I remember one time going in at 6 a.m. and getting out at 4 in the morning. It's sunrise again, and I'm like, and you're in a warehouse, so there's no windows, so you don't really know what time it is, and you've eaten at least 4 times, but you don't still really. So you can't really camera. You can't really if you clock watch. Oh, the time will really go by slow if you start clock watching. So you just ignore it, bring a good book, wait for them to call you in again, put you back at your ones, and get ready to do the next scene, right? So I started as a background actor, and I learned the ropes that way. And then I had my first opportunity to speak, and then a couple little one-liners, and then or two or three words, and then I had a whole paragraph one time. I had to memorize this nice, lines. And they always do on your contract lines under 15, lines under 20. I think it was my LU 25. So lines under 25, but it was one long paragraph. Like I had to just keep rolling with the speech. Man, and I did it with Veronica Falcone, who is very well known for the Queen of the South. And she is from Ozarks. And on set also was, oh my God, um, I just went blank on his name. It'll come to me in a second. But she and me, I had to kiss her. And she's like, "Hey, by the way, I just want you to know when you come up on the stage when I announce your character, you have to give me a kiss." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, all right, no, I'll kiss her. Um, However, that did make the cutting floor, which sucks, but it is what it is. But I still got to learn a lot by working with these people, and I try to pick their brain, pick their brain if they let you, if they let you. And that's kind of how it works. It's a very very interesting industry. And Danny Trejo, that's what I was thinking about. Danny Trejo, he's like known for Machete. And he has a big Selma Hayek tattoo across his chest in real life, and so he's on set watching, and and they're all waiting for you, and you can't screw up because you're on a time limit, and you're still kind of a nobody. You're a nobody. You're still this guy and so that was my first speaking role with a lot of sentences. I'm sure people who saw me rehearsing for at least a good few weeks thought some crazy man was walking down the sidewalk talking to himself, or in the car or in the wherever. I was talking to myself. You better believe I was constantly just practicing and learning those lines like the back of my hand. I think I nailed it in 2 takes. You know, uh, Lesson number one: when you're speaking to a crowd of people, never look at one individual or look at any of them, because I had somebody in that audience making faces at me and he threw me off. And I thought, what an ass. I can't believe this guy just did that to me. Like, and it was done on purpose. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to retake, and I'm like, oh my God, everybody's watching. They had to start this thing. I think I was like halfway through 10 lines in, and I looked at somebody who made a face on purpose, and I froze. And I'm like, oh, when this is over, I'm going to go and punch him in the eye. Um, so the second take, I just looked over everybody's heads. There's no looking at anybody. I'm like, that's not going to happen to me ever again. But you know, that's welcome to acting.
That's great advice. And, the camera won't know if you're not looking at anybody.
Yep, you're right.
So, yeah.
Don't look at anybody.
That's great advice. That's literally something I never would have thought of.
Yeah, well, I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way, and it's not how I wanted to learn. Because, like, who am I? I'm still just this like little period at the end of a script, when with some A-listers on there, and a big budget, a multi-million-dollar budget, and a very good director that's known for all kinds of stuff. So, welcome, man. What's it? Birth by bathwater or something like that. What's the saying?
I don't know. I don't know.
I might know it. I don't know.
Maybe. Hell by fire?
Yeah.
Trial by fire? Yeah.
Trial by fire. So it's like, well, there it was, and that's how it happened. So.
That is so interesting. So you did mention that you were on a lot of sets, and I was wondering, it doesn't even have to be your sets, anything you're an executive producer of, too. I was just wondering, which one of your films are you the most proud of? And tell us more about that. Why?
Okay. I'm very, very, very ecstatic about the film right now that just won last night at the Cannes Awards in Paris, France. It's called Between Left and Right. It is a 19-minute short that has won over 47 awards with JTC Films, with the crew from JTC Films, and we are as a team. We are a team. They're like my brothers. They're Italians, and the team that I work with, John, Simon, and Eliana, was like just a great chemistry from day one. And between left and right, like I said, won cans last night for best dual actors, and that's Eliana and John as the main actors of that, the main leads as brother and sister. And I'm very proud of this because now at this momentum, we are going to be looking at this as a full featured movie as soon as possible, as soon as we can. We're working on the budget right now, scenes. We've gotten casting already for certain people in Italy. Italy's been very, very generous to us with grant money and studios. Then we got to come back to Chicago and film 6 weeks here. And the crew that I worked with in this, the film crew, I mean, it's a family. As you know, it's a family. When you work with people, you better get along with them. You better get along with everybody, and because you're with them for a very long time. And I really, really enjoy working and being part of this journey with everybody. So between left and right is a short, and we hope that we rack up enough points and we get invited to the Oscars as a short, and maybe even as a long when we go full feature. On that one, I'm on both sides of the camera. In the full feature, I will have a role as a um, supporting actor role in that one, but a nice important role. They're actually Simon is rewriting some to give me a little more camera time, um, and John and Eliana, and we will go to bat real fast. And I think we just, as we won last night, Cannes, we are now, I think we're heading to New York. And that's our next show. And we've been really, I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of everybody that I've collaborated with on that. And I got to give a shout out to those actors, both of them, all of them, the whole crew.
Congratulations. That is such a huge accomplishment. I think I have one more question that I have time for. So let's do something not acting related, or it could be, I guess. Who's your biggest role model? It could be acting or not acting.
Oh my God. Billy Bob Thornton, John Hamm.
Any reason in particular?
Rumor has it that Billy Bob Thornton doesn't even read his script. He knows his character so well. What that's a wow. That's a wow. When you are so involved in your character, and you can just, let's say you read it once, but you just don't even need your script. I mean, that's a wow. And I love Landman. I'm excited. I like Dalton Ranch. I'm a big Yellowstone fan. Again, I wish that I was on the show, right? And now they took it over to Marshalls, the spinoff of The Sun from Marshalls, and now Dalton Ranch. They took the other two characters, Riff and oh my God, I went blank on their name, but they took that and they're doing great. So role models, I like John Hamm. I'm a big John Hamm fan, and so it's hard to say, man. It's such a industry. You know, Dwayne Johnson. It's just such an industry where you just can never stop learning. Period. And you can never think that you're comfortable enough to stop learning because you can't.
Yeah.
You don't know what your next role is going to be. Am I the good guy, the bad guy, the guy gets killed at the end, the guy that saves the day, I'm the dad, the boss, the villain, the cop, the detective, the fireman. Am I the neighbor guy yelling at everybody to shut up? I mean, it's you never know, right? You know this. So I hope I answered your questions with justice.
You did, and I love it. So, is there anything else that you would like the viewers to know today? Upcoming projects, things that are dropping now, your social media handles, anything of that nature?
Yeah. Actor John David on Instagram, and between left and right, and JTC Films. We're very proud of JTC Films, and John Caponelli does an amazing job. Who brought a nice team together, and yeah. So with Simon and Arianna and being in Italy, they have just been a wonderful couple to work with, and talented actors, talented. Just to not give you a little bit of the role, but she plays a blind woman, and it's so believable. Like in this movie, and when we would go to festivals, people actually thought she was blind, and we're like, no, 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 she wasn't. So talk about an actress that just hit it out of the park. So much that we're at what 47 awards, and last night her and John winning, dual actor award in Cannes last night. That shows you something. So I don't know. I mean, just Nova Health products. I mean, just I can go on and on. To be honest with you.
Wow. I love it. Well, thank you for answering all of these questions tonight and for joining me today. And thank you to all the viewers for watching Aim for the Stars. Be sure to catch my other episodes on Jess TV and Roku. Bye, guys.
Hey, thank you.